Hi everyone, let's begin. Harmonization with this session 100% going both ways. Wonderful. So let's take a moment, take a deeper look into the pattern of energy that's presenting itself to us today. Second attention. Whew. Like a washing sensation up the back side of my skull here. Stops right about here off of the body, starts on the body, swoops over to make a C that stops off the body in this area. Interesting. Is that relevant? Yes, so let's talk about the back of the head, let's talk about the front of the head, let's talk about the shape. Okay, so the shape, the C shape is relevant. Is it that some of it is off the body that's relevant? So let's talk about, there's something that's off the body that needs to be in the body. Okay, so an aspect of our energy has projected off of our body and it has gotten stuck outside of our bodies. Is that the first thing that we need to deal with? Okay, so some sort of shock in our lives has created this displacement to do with, let's talk about the pituitary gland. Yeah, with this placement, that makes sense. So let's create a vision here and see. Study of anatomy can be really beneficial. I'm seeing what the brain looks like here in front of me, and it's as though the pituitary has been taken out and it's placed in front of the brain. If I knew how to bring this aspect of the energy, this hologram, back into the brain, what would I do? Was this successful? Is this true? Wonderful. Pituitary can be to do with the crown chakra. Is that the case here? There's been something that we've been missing to do with the crown chakra, something we've been missing to do with being able to properly receive information from source, properly receive information from our guides, from our angels, from God. Now there's been something that's blocking our proper communication, blocking our confidence specifically within this line of communication. Let's talk about, now that it's back in the body, we can feel a bit more of it, and there's something going on that starts sort of circular around my orbit here, and it ends multiple places on the back of my skull. It's interesting. But they're about at the same place on both sides. There's a circle here, or a semicircle here, and 2 points on the back of the skull. 2 points on the back of the skull relevant towards the thalamus, responsible for wakefulness, many functions of the thalamus in the body. You can think of it like the main computer system that communicates with or receives information from different organs in the body. But this area around the orbit is also relevant. Let's talk about, is it the bones? No. Is it the sutures? No. Is it the eye? Okay, so something about the eye. The emotion of worthlessness, to do with the eyelids specifically. Worthlessness affecting our thalamus. Thalamus responsible for an emotional sensation to do with overstimulation. And as we talk about these two things, I can now feel that's a complex sensation. I don't want to describe this. So this eye is getting heavier around this orbit. This eye is getting heavier. The eyelid and the space around the eye is getting heavier. And it's sort of like it's creating a connecting line through this spot on the left back of my skull that shoots upwards. But there's also something going on the left side that's still connected to the orbit in the front. It seems to be sort of blasting out to the side and opening up really large. It's a very complex sort of sensation. There's more texture over here that makes it a slightly different shape than what I can describe here. It's not just that it's opening, there's also some curvatures and some amorphous shape to it. And it's kind of making a screeching sound. It's uncomfortable. but I could definitely associate it with a feeling of overstimulation, right? Overstimulation along with an emotion, worthlessness, right? So let's look into more that we need to know about this. Moving into a little bit of Garcia Energetics. No issue with us towards this energy. No issue with this energy towards us, moving out of Garcia Energetics into some of my own categories. Sorcery is coming up. The sorcery related to intuitive energy work, right? Intuitive work with the substrate of quantum material that makes up reality, rather than spell work, which is about preparation and setting things up and getting all of the ingredients right so that then this event of intention can blossom into something that creates changes in the physical world. Sorcery just bypasses the ritual. It's someone who, or a spirit, who has enough influence over quantum properties that they can create intention that immediately can go and affect an individual in the same way that a spell or a curse could, right? But it requires less setup, and it has typically greater intensity because of the experience of this individual. Do we need to know who this individual is? Wonderful. So likely something that happened in a past life. No? Okay, so something that happened between incarnations. Okay, so something that happened before we came into this body specifically. Okay, so let's talk about ringing in this ear only, ringing in the left ear only. Let's talk about something to do with feminine energy dynamics, school versus time. Okay, so feminine energy dynamics, something about my ability to receive energy in the world, right? Masculine energy dynamics, this is not about gender. This is not about the sex of an individual. This is about energy dynamics. Energy dynamics, masculine energy dynamics, about giving, starting, initiating things. Feminine energy dynamics, about receiving things, letting things come to me, being a magnetizing individual, right? Come back to a point of focus here. Very distracting sensation here. I'm seeing stars. Not relevant to the situation, something common with sorcery. When I work with sorcery, it's almost as though there is a cloud of star-like material around an area of my body. In this case, it's forming these two shapes that I'm associating with these two emotions, overstimulation and a feeling of worthlessness. Is there more that we need to know? Wonderful. Is this true? Wonderful. Can we work with this energy of sorcery at this time? Do we know enough? Wonderful. So if I knew what to do in order to relieve this sorcery over our energies and properly integrate the emotions of overstimulation and worthlessness within my energy so that I can let go of these things that I came into this life with, what would I do? Screeching noise in the left ear. Really intense sensations all around the skull. It's like a pressure headache squeezing in. Getting stuck. I'm hearing the word balm in my left ear. something that a teacher of mine who would rather not be named has been working into some of my life at this time. If I knew what to do to create the best balm for this situation, what would I do? It's like that cloud of stars just continuing to lift off of the body and seep out of the top of the body, almost like I'm smoking. But the smoke, my body is smoking, not I'm smoking, but my body is smoking, and the smoke is filled with stars. Okay. Is this sorcery still present over our energy? Wonderful. Is this emotion of overstimulation still present within our energy, within a collective? Okay. Is this emotion of feeling worthlessness still present within the collective? Is this true? Wonderful. Is there anything more that we need to know today? Perfect. I believe that's all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.